Hi Capricorn, this is your forecast for the month of August 2018. This is a general reading for Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Rising, or Capricorn Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. So Capricorn, the first week of August, there's water energy that's important. This could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this queen. This could represent a maternal figure. It could be your mother, your maternal instincts. Whoever this is somebody that feels very deeply. This is someone who is emotional, who is sensitive, maybe empathic or intuitive or creative. And you may be tapping into any of those traits that are within you. This could be a devoted wife or somebody who is working in a helpful profession like a nurse, a doctor, a therapist, a counselor, somebody who is caring. This is somebody who may be capable of tapping into her intuition. She's got some keen perception about things. And she's very loyal. At issue is, though, sometimes she can be easily influenced by other people. But positively, she's a visionary. She's very imaginative. And again, she can tap into the softer side of herself, her femininity. She epitomizes the ultimate femininity. So some of you may be dealing with somebody like that. You may be coming into contact with a healer or somebody creative. And this is a week that focuses on receiving, having deep feeling, nurturing something, being very sensitive, being creative, being gentle. And you may be focused on being a supportive friend, or you may be focused on your home or your family, or gaining some kind of intuitive awareness with regard to something. You will have to make sure that you are not emotionally unstable this week. Maybe you need to assert yourself, or you're dealing with somebody who finds it difficult to assert themselves. And maybe that's because they don't have a handle on their emotions, or there's some confusion or indecision about a situation. Maybe somebody's giving over to some kind of hysteria, or perhaps escapism, or they're, an enabler, or there's some codependency, or they're not on solid ground. They're living in a fantasy world. Positively, this is about you trying to retain or keep a hold of something that provides that sense of security, that nurturance for yourself. And maybe this is somebody that is very important to you. You care about this person a great deal. Maybe this is the love of your life. Or maybe this is somebody that you're completely obsessed with or infatuated with or attracted to. And that attraction strongly influences the direction of your life. Maybe with positive results, they have a great influence on you emotionally. And this could be somebody who has, in the positive, emotional strength. They are very powerful. Or this person has very high self-esteem, or they don't fear taking action. They trust their emotions, their intuition, their instincts. But for others of you, this could be somebody who is moody. They need to get balanced. They need to be grounded. They're a disruptive force in your life. It could be somebody who's unfaithful or unreliable or overly emotional or self-indulgent. Or maybe, they're getting involved in things that they shouldn't. So it could be the strength of your emotions, your sensitivity, or your creativity that's very important this week, or someone that you are connected to. Could be issues, again, surrounding maternal instincts or connecting to your mother or someone very sensitive. Now, the second week, you have a major card. And for some of you, this is going to represent an Aries in your life, or a strong male figure or masculine energy. For some of you, this could be your husband. It could be the queen's husband. This is somebody who holds some power, some position, perhaps a title. This is somebody who is important. Maybe they own land, or they are in power. Maybe they're the head of something. Maybe this is the company you work for. This is any entity that has some measure of control over you, some authority. So this is somebody who's very direct, very forceful, very assertive, and this could be important this week. You may be dealing with institutions. It could be the bank, the government, somewhere where there's order. Or you may be focused on demands that are being made or responsibilities. So for some of you, this is about gaining some kind of power through asserting yourself. Maybe you're dealing with authority or you're acting as one. You could be dealing with somebody who has some influence, or you're somehow connected within the structure of society or some establishment. So you're driven to succeed. You want success, you want respect, you want stability in your world. And you're very focused on your ambitions and gaining that security for yourself. You're being very firm about what you want. And for some of you, you're dealing with authority, maybe the government. You're trying to have some law, some order, or your material wealth, or you're just declaring your own independence. You're coming into your own and you want to be your own person. For some of you, this is a week that provides a boost. There's a job promotion, or you establish a project, or you put something you started on a firm foundation. So control is important. Being a leader, taking the initiative. And this week, either you've got the control or someone else does. And there's a question as to leadership, setting an example, or somebody, running boot camp, being very dictatorial and overbearing. Now, the queen has her back turned. So there could be something going on behind her back, or she could be oblivious to something, or she's made a conscious decision that she's going to turn her back on something. So there could be some control issues this week where events tend to bring up your emotions, your anger, or your frustration, and you become very protective about you and yours, your sense of belonging, whether you're fitting in, how secure, how stable your circumstances are. So you're going to want to get to the bottom of something. You're going to want to get to the truth of a situation. Now, maybe you're given more authority. Perhaps, again, there's a promotion, or you're taking charge of some important project or a situation, and you're going to be very direct. You're going to assert yourself, and you are putting all of your mental thought. You're being very rational, and you're dealing with a lot of responsibility and demands, and you're willing to do that. Perhaps the queen puts that, responsibility at your feet. You want to expand yourself somehow. You are seeking some new horizons. This could be within your work, within a relationship. Maybe you're traveling. If there's some control issues taking place, maybe somebody's pushing buttons or pushing boundaries. But there is change, and you're going to have a new perception about something. Now, you may need to wake up to a situation, or perhaps the queen does. It may be very difficult to gain control over something. Maybe you are tempted to push too hard or to assert yourself. You want something to move quickly. And, you create more problems by being overbearing or demanding. So somebody could be very self-righteous, or they're attaching a lot of intensity to a situation, or they're totally concerned with self. And in the process, they get ignored. It could be the queen turns her back because somebody's pushing too hard. And so you may end up socially or emotionally isolated, or you may decide to do that to someone. There's a situation unfolding, and perhaps it's beyond your control, and you have to learn to accept that, and it's difficult for you to do so. There's some kind of inner turmoil that affects you physically because you can't gain a handle over a situation. So this is a week to, again, look at your leadership skills, how you are taking the initiative, and whether you are asserting yourself constructively, or there are just too many demands, pettiness, control, being overbearing, and suddenly realizing that you don't have the control you thought you did. So you're going to have to use your common sense this week to gain control over a situation. Now, the second week, you have the Fool card. So in the middle of the month, it's very important. Some lessons to be learned, maybe some things that are beyond your control. For some of you, this may have to do with a child, maybe who's in control of a child, or who's taking control of a decision, or maybe you're traveling for work. So you may be starting something new this week. Maybe you're starting all over, or again, you're dealing with somebody who is involved in the mystical, the visionary, the creative. It could be somebody that doesn't have the experience necessary, or somebody who is traveling. They're not committed, or they're, going into new territory. They're taking a risk. And this is going to be a week where that's very important. You may be leaping into the unknown and trusting that with faith, all is going to turn out well. So you could be very spontaneous this week. You're willing to try something new. There is potential within situations for you to make a fresh start, or take a chance, or a risk, or experience something new. So there's an important decision to be made. And for some of you, you are coming up with some solutions. You're being very innovative, very ingenious about something. It could be something unexpected comes up that is related to your domestic affairs or your career. So you may want to be more free this week. If you were under the control of somebody, you want to break free this week and do something different. And you're trusting that whatever you're doing is going to turn out okay. For some of you, this is important. Cautiously expanding yourself somehow is going to work. You're going to gain through that. And you're very willing to step out there. You want to take responsibility. Maybe you've been given more authority and you want to take responsibility for your success, for your happiness, for your well-being. So again, maybe you have a new job, or you're starting to look for one, or you're moving, or you're making important changes in your life. Maybe you start something or end something that allows you to renew your confidence or experience something new. For some of you, you're going to be doing more traveling, and you're going to be meeting new people. It could also be you're expressing yourself in different ways, whether that's verbally or through your work. This is about moving in a new direction to do what you love, to express yourself joyfully, or to work on your health, your vitality. And for some of you, you've made a decision where you've been controlled. You're going to release something. Wherever you've been repressed, you're going to break free. So this is a good week for you to move in that new direction. Put some new plans in motion, introduce yourself, establish relationships, renew relationships, especially with people who have professional connections for you, who can open doors and give influence. This is about being very practical, using your common sense, taking that leap of faith, but based on fact. Now, some of you, you're being naive about something. You're being gullible. And remember, the Queen of Cups can be easily influenced, and she can fall prey to being overly emotional or not seeing something clearly. And so for some of you, you may be deceiving yourself about a situation, or you're getting involved with the wrong people. You're going out of your way to impress somebody, and maybe they're ignoring you, or it's just the wrong situation. Or you let your emotions get out of hand, and those control issues are triggered, and you become impatient or overconfident, and something falls through the cracks. Maybe you're so intent on looking out for yourself or gaining that you become oblivious to other people. Or maybe this queen is. She's only looking out for herself, her own needs, her own feelings. That could be you or someone that you're involved with. Now, the Queen of Swords in the last week is air energy. This could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this queen. And unless you have strong air energy in your chart, it's likely that somebody else is making the decisions. For some of you, this may be someone at a distance. Again, you could be traveling or dealing with people at a distance. This could be somebody who is uninvolved as a parent, and maybe they're triggering you. That somebody may be turning their back on caring for something, or they may be less sensitive. For some of you, this is someone who's intellectual. Maybe she is a counselor, or she's a professor. Maybe she's an educator, or she's involved in something intellectual, or she's focused on her ambition. She's very career-minded. Maybe she's not interested in trying anything new, or she's not interested in having children. She's focused on her future and her ambitions. So for some of you, that is the issue. Maybe somebody's being very aloof, or they're only focused on the analytical, or what's in their head rather than what's in their heart. These two queens are very different from one another, and you could be conflicted yourself between head and heart. For some of you, this is representing a decision to separate. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who is separated, or you're getting some advice. She could be an attorney for you, or somebody who's representing you. You may be dealing with somebody who's widowed, separated, divorced, a single parent, somebody without children, or somebody that's ill, or dealing with some form of hardship in some way. So this queen could be fighting on your behalf. She could be experiencing something, where she's basing her decisions on past disappointments or emotional hardships, or that could be you. She is the warrior queen. And so she's combining her awareness and her intuitive abilities to come up with answers. And so this could be a week where using the facts, your analytical mind, as well as your intuition, helps you to overcome a situation, something that may be disastrous or, problematic, and coming up with an idea or a solution that may be surprising or moving in a new direction can help you salvage or save something, and probably at the last possible moment. This is a week that focuses on your will, your speech, your analytical ability, your perception, and whether something is fair or not. Somebody's making a judgment about a right decision, or whether something is right or fair. Communication is important, your determination, your independence. And in some cases, standing up for yourself, or having to go it alone. Now, for some of you, maybe you've made a decision, you're turning your back on men, or you're being very discriminating about who you get involved with. Maybe you're seeing multiple people, not as a player, but because you're trying to decide what's best for you, what suits your needs, because love has got to make sense. This is a queen who tends to get involved with others for practical reasons. And, she can hold her own in a conversation. She knows a lot. She's got a lot of opinions, but she's very tactful. She's level-headed. She knows how to use that information. But negatively, you don't want to cross this lady. It could be you or somebody you're dealing with. She can cut you down to size. She can emasculate others. Or, she can be downright bitchy, especially if she feels she's been betrayed. So she can be a fierce opponent, and maybe she's deceitful, or she's vague about how she's really feeling. She's not showing you her hand. So she can be calculating, or again, as the warrior queen, she can be antagonistic or cold to emotions. Maybe she's frigid, or this could be a week where you need to compromise, or you need to rethink an idea, or you may be indecisive about something. So you may be going out of your way, again, to impress someone or save something. You're very determined to get what you want, but you may misrepresent yourself in the process, or someone you're involved with. Now, you may be connecting with people based on the past and those disappointments. Maybe you are connecting with somebody whose only purpose is to advise or give you some information or some insight. And for some of you, this is about control over something. You really don't want a commitment. You just want to know that you can make this person, do your bidding. This is a feather in your cap. So there could be some desires. There's a desire to make a decision, or maybe you're tempted towards someone or something. So there could be issues of lust, seduction. Now, the Emperor says that somebody is not to be toyed with. If you're interested or somebody's interested in you, they're not going to take kindly to you playing with their emotions. Some of you, this is connected to a fantasy or some unexpected encounter you have. And for others of you, something goes off the rails and perhaps your desires are thwarted for some reason. Now, you have two major cards, the Emperor and the Fool. So you could make decisions about work. Could be maybe there's a new man, or maybe, this is a father-child issue, or a decision by some measure of authority. Could be something upsetting, or just simply a new experience. Now, with these two queens, it's likely that something is centering around a friend, an acquaintance, a rival, or some kind of conflicting need, whether that's within yourself or in opposition to someone else. There's very little stability in this reading. In fact, there's none. Something is unstable about your situation. Now, maybe that's because somebody is not grounded, or it could just be your situation is in flux. You are still working out some details to something. It has not been solidified. And it's centering around whether somebody is keeping a promise or some kind of invitation to an event. So this is going to be, the underlying energy is this Six of Wands. Having some kind of victory or getting some kind of recognition. Again, it could connect to travel. It could connect to a vehicle. It could be about getting some kind of acclaim with regard to something. So you're trying to reach a goal. You want to have a breakthrough, and perhaps that happens for you. You put in a lot of effort. You go in a new direction. You make a decision to try something new, and you feel proud about the progress that you make. You're getting some good news. So there's a victory for you, especially when you connect to other people that can help you. So you're going to have some situations that come up unexpectedly at work, at home, or both, that give you the ability to show your talents, your skills, your ability to take charge of something, make good decisions, use your intuition. Whether that is through becoming a leader, or being loyal, or being a friend, or being devoted, or being cooperative. You're coming in contact with people of authority, of influence, who can open doors for you and advance your interests. And so this is a month where you're going to get ahead by reciprocating in kind. In some instances, you're going to get advice, suggestions, information. In other situations, you're going to be giving that to others. And because you're working as a team, things are going to move forward. So for some of you, this is you being recognized. Maybe, there are issues that are important that connect to your reputation, how attractive you are, how charming you can be, how you can showcase your talent. For others of you, this is you having to make a decision. So there's some self-doubt. Maybe there's a lack of confidence about something where you begin to question what you're doing. Maybe it's because the success doesn't come as quickly as you want it to. Maybe you feel a sense of defeat, or you were getting ahead and then suddenly those gains were short-lived. So you may feel some apprehension. It could be even some form of betrayal has taken place. So this is especially true if you're not listening to other people. You're resisting help or assistance. Maybe somebody in your life is doing that. They're turning their back on something. They're not listening to advice or suggestions, things that could help improve a situation. And so consequently, things are not as enjoyable and there's not as much progress made. This is also about how you use your magnetism. Whether it is superficial, whether you use it to exploit, you know just the right thing to say, you put that smile on, it's game on, it's showtime, and you turn it off just as quickly when it doesn't suit your purpose. For some of you, again, something you wanted or anticipated is either going to be delayed or it's not what you expected. Now, this may center around turning your back on work and doing something enjoyable, a decision to be more free, to be more spontaneous, more adventurous, to try new things, to be playful, to enjoy yourself. For some of you, it's this need to take a time out. For others of you, it's to get out of those control issues and let loose, be freer. And, maybe you just need some downtime. Maybe you're trying to get over some kind of loss. So, there are going to be some changes that are challenging for you this month. You may be overcoming the emotional. The logic may be used in a situation that could easily spin out of control with no clear winners. And perhaps there's a need to act, but it's delayed through hesitation because of the options in front of you. For some of you, there's some ruthless ability to act without considering other people's feelings. For others of you, you're going to travel. And for some of you, somebody's blowing something out of proportion. They're making a drama out of a crisis. It may very well be something troubling, but they're overblowing it and turning it into something else. So you're making some decisions. Maybe it has to do with two women. Maybe somebody's caught in the middle of something. Maybe you're traveling for work or for school. It could be some father-child issues. Could be the strength of your expression is important. How you assert yourself, what you say, this desire for adventure. And for some of you, you're turning your back on something, or somebody's turning their back on you. It could be somebody's turning their back on work, on men, a project, or a child. All right, Capricorn, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please subscribe. You can also join me on Patreon to receive extras, or Instagram, or over at my blog for a daily post. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.